Hi there, welcome to this episode of Hit the Mahogany, and guess what we have here? We've got a few rums and some ginger. What could that be? Well, we're going to do a couple of riffs on something that will bring out the thunder. Yeah, we're going to do some Dark and Stormies here. Okay, Dark and Stormy, generally rum, ginger beer, squeeze a lime. That's it. Nothing as simple as that. Nothing can be simpler than that, I should say. Absolutely delicious drink, and as the weather gets colder, it's warming all the way through. It's actually warming and refreshing at the same time. It's a tall drink, so it takes you a little bit of time to actually get through it. It's just delicious, it really is. If you like ginger, you like the spice, you're just going to love one. If you've never had a Dark and Stormy, please try one. What we're going to do here, we'll actually try just sort of Gosling's Dark Rum, good old favourite. Try that with their ginger beer. We'll give a spiced rum an opportunity as well. It's the Kraken. We'll try the Fever Tree ginger beer as well. Really like their tonic water. It's delicious, as is their soda water. Absolutely fantastic. I used their soda water in some Tokay highballs or whiskey highballs that I did. Got to try that as well. Tall, refreshing drink as well. Not spicy like this, but completely different. And then also got something, a little treat, a couple of treats here, which I'll show you what we can do to amp this up a little bit if just some rum and some non-alcoholic ginger beer isn't enough for you, and you just want to go a little bit, maybe a little bit more in depth with some alcohol. Anyway, alright, really simple, tall glass. Let's start with a plain, straightforward one, alright. I was hoping to get some AC/DC music into this, but I wasn't quite sure if I was going to break any rules there with putting things on YouTube. So what you'll find is, oh, I've got a chilled one here, make sure everything's chilled as well. What you'll generally find is that when you ask for a Dark and Stormy, pour the ginger beer in, and then they'll put the rum on the top. And you know what, it looks really nice. And we will do that just now. So you're looking, I mean, this is about a 6 ounce, 8 ounce glass. You're usually looking to a 2 to 3 to 1 ratio. You know what? You really don't need to measure this. You can eyeball it definitely. Yeah, probably a fraction more there. You're looking at about, this was about 4 or 5 ounces that was in there. So we're going to put in about 2 ounces of the Gosling's rum. And I would measure this out, but I don't have my jigger with me either just now. But I know that I don't need to. So you're looking, you're just going to be pouring that in. It's probably about 1, and then that's probably about 2 there. Yeah, I think that's it. And it just looks absolutely fantastic. That's where you're going to get it. Always give yourself a slice of lime. What could be any simpler than that? Seriously, that's just absolutely crazy. Now, if you taste this like this, of course like this, looks nice. All the way back, girl. Guess what you're going to get at the top? You're going to get pure rum there. So, when I make these, I put the rum in first, and then I top it up. But if you like showing it off like that, then what you can do is definitely give it a stir around, You won't last very long if you've got that on the top, definitely not. Okay. So we've given it a stir. It looked really nice though, didn't it? Can't deny that, but you do need to mix it. Alright, now that we have rum and ginger mixed, now we've got the Dark and Stormy. Oh, that's just fantastic. Sometimes if you stir it around a little bit, you lose a little bit of the gas. You just top it up a little bit there. It's just, you know what, the rum comes through. You're using a dark rum there. You could certainly use an aged rum if you want, a little bit more subtle flavour in there. But sometimes with the aged rum you're going to lose a little bit of the flavour because of the spice of the ginger beer. But ginger beer, and the Goslings, they actually do a great job with this. It's not too sweet, got good carbonation, got a good bite to it as well, but not overpowering. It really is, it's such a warming drink. I can't say enough, and you know what? I apologise, should have done this, but the squeeze of lime there just cuts through. you got the citrus like so many other cocktails that we do. You put citrus and it just seems to pull everything together. Oh, I could drink these on and on and on and on. That's just delicious. All right, one straight up Dark and Stormy. We'll call that Thunder one. All right. Let's set that one there. Next up. God, I'm gonna keep going through. Let's give Spice Rum a little bit of a chance here. Now what you're going to find is that a few rums, you'll see dark or black rum on part of the label. And generally what you'll find is that, you know, anything like this, black colourant, usually caramel plays heavily into this. So I'll be able to show you the colour actually. I'll do it the same way. So this one we're actually going to use the Fever Tree ginger beer. Already chilled. Aren't these so cute? God, who wouldn't want to take one of these home and look after it? Oh, it's so cute, isn't it? I just bopped off its skull there. Alright. These themselves are just about the right size, the small cans here, for filling a glass. Maybe a little bit extra there. Okay. We're going to use the Kraken. Pour this in the top. 1, 2-ish. There we go. Now you'll see, comparing it from what we did with the first one, this one is much darker. Again, as I said, a lot of it's caramel colouring that they put in there. And there are spices in there. We'll touch upon a little bit, and I find this pretty common across all the spice rums. There's one particular flavour that comes out. But, okay, looks great. I'm not going to drink it like this. I'm actually going to give it a little bit of a stir. And depending on how much, you can certainly mix it to different ratios as well. So you want it stronger at the top, thinner at the bottom. Actually, when I was making one, when I poured the rum in at the bottom, I slowly poured the ginger beer in, and actually all the rum stayed at the bottom, so it was like a reverse one. Of course, I'm sure if I tried to recreate that just now, it wouldn't work particularly well. Again, what do we want? Squeeze a lime, in we go. Alright, so the Fever Tree, I've actually already tried the Fever Tree. Delicate bubbles, good ginger bite as well. I'm not quite sure, I think it is. Now I did have this just with the Goslings, not with the Spice Rum last night. And I think it might be just a fraction sweeter than the Goslings. Not sure, haven't looked at it, just came across that way. Maybe not quite as heavy on the ginger, a little bit more subtle, but a really good ginger beer itself. Good flavour. Now the Spice Rum, what I generally find is that because a lot of them they put that caramel colouring and colouring in there, it comes across quite heavily in the flavour. You are getting rum, but then there's this sort of vanilla flavour that comes through. And I find that with all the Spice Rum, just this type of vanilla flavour that cuts through all the other spices. So if you like something like an American cream soda or something of that type, that little vanilla hint, and something that's got a little bit of spice, then the Spice Rums are certainly one for it. Kraken seems to be doing the trick anyway. You know, there's plenty of others that are out there. Very drinkable. I think if you were introducing somebody to a Dark and Stormy, and you didn't want to hit them straight up with something like the straightforward Goslings, then this is a good introduction. A little bit softer, you know, definitely. I like it. You can actually see the difference in colour there, you know, as we got it. All right. Now, what am I going to do here? Well, let's take this one to start with. So we did, this is non-alcoholic ginger beer, not ginger ale. Ginger ale is like dishwater equivalent of ginger beer. There's very little ginger flavour to it. It's good for settling the tummy though. It's non-alcoholic. Now, this here is a French liqueur, Canton. It's actually a ginger liqueur. Now what you can do to, what we'll call this one, this is Thunder 2. We'll call that Thunder 2, alright? What you can do after if you've mixed up a Dark and Stormy, what you can do is just put a little float of the Canton on top of it. Not much at all. It's a liqueur, it's sweet, but the thing is, it's extremely gingery. And what it can actually do is, after I taste this, oh, it just kind of elevates that flavour of the ginger. And because you've only got it there as a float, you get a little bit of the sweetness, first of all, and then the bite comes through, and then as you're going through the rest of the drink, you've just got the regular sort of Dark and Stormy through there. Anything where you've got a float like that, whether it's a penicillin, you've got some smoky whiskey on top, great introduction, but then as you keep going through it, the flavour changes of the drink. It's fantastic. Okay, so you kick that one up. Alright, what we're going to do here, let's try something a little bit more extreme. Okay? So we'll get more ice. There we go. Rum, just go with a straightforward rum. A couple of ounces, straight in the bottom here. And that should do us. Now, what is this? This is Krabby's. This is Scottish. This is Krabby's ginger beer. It's actually alcoholic. And I can't remember what it is. I think it's around about 5%. So it's very gingery. It's alcoholic. So, chilled bottle here. What we're going to do is we're going to use this in our Dark and Stormy. And you can see you're already kind of getting a slightly different head, as it were. I'm sure there's a few more proteins in this that are helping that head establish there. What we'll do is we'll give this just a quick pull up through. That looks quite nice like that, doesn't it? So there we have a Dark and Stormy with alcoholic ginger beer, and if you wanted just a little bit extra float. That's interesting because that float, I think because of it being ginger beer, has actually gone all the way down through it. So this is certainly something, Thunder 3, I think we'll call this, is one that you should treat very, very carefully. I've had these before, and it's actually pretty good, but let's give this one a taste. Lemon squeezy, easy peasy, lime squeezy. There we go. Of course you don't need the Canton. If you don't have Canton, fair enough. But if you get your hands on this, Krabby's ginger beer, it's great. It's just great by itself as well, but really for a kicked up Dark and Stormy, here we go. Oh, it's good. Different flavour profile completely. Now, you got the ginger in there, but there's a hint of, I wouldn't say beer flavour, but there's something in the background there. You know what, let me do this. This might help. Yep, okay, that's it. So the Krabby's itself, even though it's a ginger beer, you think ginger and you think beer non-alcoholic. But because this is an alcoholic one, there's a slightly beery flavour. What does that mean? Probably a little bit of maltiness in the background there. I'm not quite sure how this is actually made. I didn't check it out, sorry folks. But there is certainly a kind of beery hint there, versus if you're just using something that has been, let's say, predominantly water-based, you know? I'm getting all gassy with all this. It's good. Rum still comes through as well. And you know what? This is going to keep you warm all night long, definitely. And I can actually feel it. Even although I've only had this amount sips here, and I've had my dinner already. These can go to your head pretty quickly. Gas, a little bit of sweetness in there. Rum, don't joke at it. Alcoholic ginger beer, bit of Canton. Oh my goodness, you will be nice and warm and toasty for the whole night. Anyway, let's call this Thunder 3. Oh boy, I've got a lot to get through tonight anyway. Okay, so you know what? Let's taste, enjoy your Dark and Stormies. You've just been thunderstruck. That was crap, wasn't it? But cheers, enjoy.